fair question. How did I meet Dave Maston? Met him at my first Space Access conference. I'd been doing a grad class. It was like a special topic, so you could pick whatever topic you wanted to do, and you kind of design your own curriculum. Did a special topics class on an idea I had for pintle injector, rocket engine injector design, mass customization. The idea was if you could create analytical models and stuff like that that could allow you to analyze something like an injector, that you could basically make a dialer rocket where you'd have a set of linked applications where you could plug in the characteristics you wanted, have it feed that forward into a design, run some analysis, you could tweak a couple factors and then iterate on that in these pre-made designs, and it would actually spit out a machine code to machine the parts, and you could go test it and verify it. Way naive. It's nowhere near that easy, but Dave and Pierce, the other two of the other co-founders, they were IT guys from the Bay Area that also had engineering backgrounds, and they came up afterwards and had tons of questions about, so what language are you scripting this in? And I'm not a computer guy very much, but made a favorable impression. Then about a year later, I had got an idea at a business plan competition event there at BYU that my wife told me not to go. She's all, "You're going to get an idea, darn it." I'm like, there's free pizza, come on. Free food, right? Free food is dangerous. I got an idea and contacted Pierce about it, found out that Dave and Pierce were involved. Dave's comment was, "I was wondering how we'd rope John into this," and then it was off to the races. He pulled in Mike Mealing, pulled together a company, and it was exciting. It was a lot of fun. It was a great learning experience. Being able to be there as part of that Lunar Lander Challenge winning team, that's something I'm going to be telling my grandkids about. That's something my grandkids are going to be telling their kids about. Well, okay, maybe not, but maybe they won't be as much a nerds as I am. But yeah, no, it was a blast. I learned a ton, about engineering, about building stuff, about, what you can really accomplish when you really push yourself, when you really apply yourself. And it's been super useful for when I've been running my own company. It was a great opportunity, great team to be working with. I'm really glad that that I was able to pick up Ian. After he left Maston, I went back to Draper. I was able to steal him away from Draper for Altius, and just a great team. We did some amazing stuff for how little resources and time we did. I mean, just going from our first stable, successful flight, like sometime in May of 2009, to surprising the heck out of everybody and beating Armadillo, surprising everybody, including ourselves. That was like 5.5, 6 months later. Taking a vehicle from a spreadsheet concept where I was just screwing around one evening saying, how big of a propellant tank could I fit if I can get the rocket engine thrust as high as I think we can bump it up, to that actual vehicle flying and winning a competition like that in 5 months. I mean, this is like the nerd equivalent of the Super Bowl. I mean, I still get chills thinking about it, That was, I've never been that exhausted in my entire life, but I've never been that happy to be exhausted. It's just phenomenal. The team really pulled together for that. It was awesome. Like, especially the guys who came out of the woodworks to, help us repair our vehicle the night before before our final flight. The fuel tank had sprouted a leak right before we were about to do our one flight. Vehicle caught fire on the landing, and we had a bunch. We were dead tired. There's just no way we could have kept going on. And some of our friends, former next door neighbors, guys running other LLC teams, they pull us aside and they're like, "We can put it back together for you." And they kicked us out that evening. They rewired the vehicle, they patched the plumbing, they Keith Sturmo, the guy who ran one of the other LLC teams, came up with this ingenious way of catching the leaking fuel and diverting it away. I had all this stuff, unpaid, volunteer stuff, staying up all night long, to help another team win a competition. They kicked us out at 10 o'clock and said, you can't operate a 1,000-pound rocket vehicle safely on no sleep. Go home and get some sleep. We showed up at 5:30 the next morning, and it's like, and the vehicle is done. I mean, they actually rewired it a little bit better than we had it initially. I mean, it was so intense and so much fun. Like the one thing I remember the most is, Ben Brockert, who's just amazing to work with. We run over to fix a problem. Like when we go to take off for the last leg, there's all of a sudden, it didn't light. And so we run over to troubleshoot this. I dropped my radio along the way accidentally without knowing it. And I don't hear them announce over the radio that, oops, you don't have 45 minutes left, you have 15. So I'm like trying to calm everybody down. Everybody, let's take this by the book, guys. Let's make this happen. And Ben just just took charge. And he's sitting under a fully fueled, fully pressurized rocket engine, field stripping the igniter, warming up a component that had frozen up with his hand, got it working in like a minute and a half or something like that. And he was a safety officer for Maston, and he's like, run. So we're running back to our weight position, which is back behind the safety clear line and everything. And as we're running back, as soon as we were within a couple seconds of there, he starts calling out the countdown as we're going there. I mean, here's two rocket engineers trying to run as fast as we can. So he's calling out the countdown, and it freaking worked. It flew amazingly well, landed spot on, within like that far of the center. I mean, just amazing precision. And it came down to the wire. We had like 2 minutes left on the clock when we had that thing tied down, but we finished that, and I just kind of collapsed. I just kind of leaned up against the truck. It's like, how on earth did that happen? But it's one of those where we had an amazing team. There was a fair deal of luck in there, but we had an amazing team, amazing friends, and it just really goes to show what you can achieve when you really throw yourself at a problem. And that's the best feeling in the world, when you throw yourself at a problem and the problem moves, not you falling back on your backside. And I mean, some of that has really paid off for me at Altius too. For the Sticky Boom project, we get invited to go out to Washington, D.C. to demo our technology at a NASA Tech Day. They call us up on February 28th, say, hey, would you like to, do you have any hardware that you could come show off on March 15th? Sure, we'll have something by then. And so got the guy I just hired, flew out to California and put in like a 110, 120 hour work week. And, by the end of it, once again, it was one of those where the project was what moved instead of us, and it worked great. So it's just, I don't know, probably shouldn't be trying to form too many morals for the story, but it's just amazing what you can actually accomplish when you put your mind to it.